You have to know who your enemy is. You have to know that people aren't inherently good. You have to know how to discern who is worthy to be in your garden and who is not. Hello and welcome. This is Mama Jess. I'm in my high tunnel today, and this is where I'm starting my winter garden. So I've got a lot of greens growing. Everything's in a very juvenile, tender state, and so I've got a lot of pests and predators that love the sweet little flavor of everything that's young and tender. And so it's not uncommon for me to have to pass through, especially a fledgling garden, and have to go over and just see who's here, who's been eating my stuff, and who do I need to trap and kill. So it's a full-time job to not only garden, but also to protect your garden. And so every time I walk into my gardens, it's truly every single time I go, this really is like life. And it's a reminder to me that I have to be completely hypervigilant if I want to grow my life, if I want to grow my person, if I want to grow relationships, if I want to grow more skill sets, my character, challenge myself with whatever it might be. If I want to do that, I have to protect my time, my energy, my resources, my money. Like, I cannot be foolish in just allowing anyone in my life. Because through experience, I've learned that not everyone is worthy to come in because they are predators. They don't know how to behave themselves. And if you tell them no, they just mow you over and eat whatever they want. They take whatever they want. It's really important that you have a better understanding than what has been taught in America the last years in certain groups. Even it seems that the public at large has been taught, especially through some schooling, environments, that human beings are inherently good. That's called humanism. You believe that humans are good and that that they're born good and that they can maintain that goodness through being properly trained, taught the right things, and that they will just go on into the world and always be philanthropic and charitable and help everybody and be good. And then you learn about history, and then you learn about the abuses in your neighborhood or in your own family or in the relationships you've attempted to have. And you realize, like, I don't think people are inherently good. Or they might want to be good. They might try to be good, but people aren't. And that's the hardest lesson that I've had to learn along the way, is people weren't good. I thought they were good. I was taught, believed that they were good. And if I was just kind to them, they would be kind to me. And it wasn't until I went on into deeper understanding of theology and history, you learn that no, people aren't inherently good. They're inherently selfish and controlling. And under various pressures, you will begin to see their true colors and who they really are. And there is jealousy, and there is greed, and people steal, and they lie. And they'll lie and say, I love you, so they can get something from you, but they don't love you. They're just being selfish, and they're being conniving. They're being sly in how they're going about conning you to get something from you. And I'm sure many of you have learned that in relationships. You realize when this person said, I love you, that they don't really, that they wanted something else from you. They didn't want to commit. They weren't going to be faithful. They're not, in it for the long run. They're just going to use you for something and then throw you away. And sadly, I had to conclude that many people in this world will use you like a cigarette. They'll just smoke you. They'll smoke you and then flick you away when they're done. And so we have to be hypervigilant. So you have to begin to accept that people aren't inherently good, and that you have to vet them, and you have to discern and make a righteous judgment of who is safe. It's like when I have to look at the bugs, I'm like, okay, when a pill bug is in a compost pile, they're doing wonderful work out there. Great, I'll let them be out there. But if they're coming in around my little lettuce plants and mowing them over, they're now my enemy. So I don't want the pill bugs here. They can be in the compost pile and eat things up, because that's what they do. They eat dead matter. And they want to break stuff down. But they like to eat my live little sprigs, and I can't have it. So I have to assess if they're welcome or not in my garden space. But if I see a ladybug, they're always welcome. If I see a frog, they're always welcome. Birds, sometimes they're okay. Sometimes I want certain birds to eat the bugs, but if they're going to eat seeds and they're going to tear at the leaves, they got to go. All right, so you need to develop an extraordinary capacity to discern who is your enemy, who is coming at you to steal from you, who wants to abuse you. And for you girls, are there guys coming around you, pornographic men that want you to do dirty things and they want you to give your time and energy and body to them? They're out. You assess it as an enemy, you trap them and you throw them out because they're going to eat up your life. They're going to destroy everything in your garden. So they're not welcome. So you'll find over time there are very few people that are welcome. If you're a man, are you a hardworking, kind man that wants to serve a woman? But what if she's selfish and mean and jealous and controlling and it's never enough and her standards want to be higher and higher, higher? Like, she's got to go. She's going to drain you of all life. She's going to eat away at everything you're trying to grow. And the last thing we need is more death and destruction in our life. I know probably many of you have suffered from enormous amount of abuse. And so this is how we protect ourselves, is you have to accept people aren't good. They're not. And the more you know history, the more you understand theology, the more you understand how people have pursued a spiritual transcendence in hopes that they can change to be good. We all have this propensity to be selfish and mean and take things that aren't ours, to be irresponsible, to want to get out of work, to be lazy, to procrastinate, to want to take money from someone who's worked for it because we just think we're entitled to it. That's what's going on in this country right now. We have a huge blight of people that believe, well, we all should be able to have the same thing. No, that's not true. If you work hard, you will reap what you sow. But if you're being lazy and you want to mooch off of someone, the worst thing you can do is give that person a handout because they're going to forever eat you up. They're never going to stop wanting to take from you. So they have to learn, they have to develop a character and a discipline to participate in learning how to grow things, right? This is our responsibility as we get older. So rites of passage. You have to know who your enemy is. You have to know that people aren't inherently good. You have to know how to discern who is worthy to be in your garden and who is not. Who will help you grow? Who wastes your time? Who doesn't return your texts and causes you confusion? Who is always late, but they'll never miss a flight to Hawaii? Who doesn't want to do the work, but they want you to do the work and then they want to take from you? Who is always squandering their money or ruining all the stuff they're given, but then they want to come up on your nice things that you've taken good care of, right? These are all little bugs that eat away at your life. Who wants you to do things that hurt you? Who's wanting to abuse you? Who wants to bring you into an addiction? Who wants to make you do hurtful things to yourself and others? They're out. They're predators. Trap them and throw them out. And you definitely don't want to get involved with any kind of addict. They're dangerous. They're going to lie to you. They're going to say, well, I'm working on getting better. You know, they're lying. They have to be showing their behavior as being good and doing the right thing and taking responsibility for their life. And it's not your responsibility. You might be doing everything right. Eating well, trying to get good sleep, taking care of your chores, taking care of your responsibilities, planning your future goals. I certainly hope you're pursuing God, you're pursuing morality and righteousness and the peace and joy that comes with that. So if you're doing all that, just know you're going to have predators that are going to want to eat the life that you're growing. They're going to be jealous of you. They're going to be greedy. They're not going to want you to be happy. I mean, I've had people in my life like, I don't like it when you're joyful. They like me when I'm bummed out and sad all the time. Those are predators. Get them out. Right? So it's hard to accept this part of the growing part, because it's nice to want to do all these positive things to make yourself well, but it's hard to accept that other people aren't going to like it. And you have to be very severe in getting them out of your life. It could be family. It could be people you thought were friends, but they're not really friends. They were your addict friends. They liked when you were just drunk or high all the time or doing dirty things. Those aren't your real friends. I've had to let go of a lot of people in my life in order to grow. Because you don't want people eating your life. You don't want them eating all of the fruitfulness. I mean, I've had times where I felt like not only would they eat all the fruit in my basket, but they were eating on me. They were like cannibals because they refused to do the work. I would do the work and they refused to do it, but they wanted the fruit of my labor. But now I know that I get to enjoy the fruit of my hands. And I want to encourage you to enjoy the fruit of your hands. But if you're not doing anything with your hands, you can't expect to gain any fruit. You have to put the time in and actually labor and work and discipline and trap the gophers and do the hard work of laying the boundaries and saying no. Like, you're going to have to stand up for yourself and do difficult things, and people are not going to like it. And also know that it's not like I'm going to get to a point in my garden. It's like the gophers are gone forever. There will always be gophers trying to come in, just as there will always be, you might find that you got narcissists always coming at you, selfish, needy parents, old babies, codependent, addicts, people who want to be irresponsible, childish people. They're always going to be there, and you have to always know how to protect yourself from them. Okay? But again, you have to be able to assess them for who they really are, and you're not being mean or unloving. You're having a righteous judgment, and then you have to get away from them or get them out. Okay? But look at your life like you need to put walls around it. Put gates with locks. Get your traps. Get every resource that will help protect you from having anyone come in your life that will want to eat away all of the hard labor that you have worked for. Because that's the reward. When you work hard, you should have the reward. And you shouldn't feel bad if other people were lazy slackers, drinking, drugging, and screwing around, and they don't have, but you do. You have because you worked for it. You reap what you sow. That word S-O-W. If you plant a seed and you're laboring over that seed, you get to reap the harvest of that. These other lazy slackers don't. They're not worthy of it. So they're going to have to go suffer the consequences of being lazy and irresponsible. That's not your problem. Okay? So rites of passage, you need to be hyper vigilant to protect your life and the harvest that you want to grow from predators. All right. Don't feel bad about it if people don't like when you start protecting yourself and you really start growing your life. There are always going to be people that are going to want to come up and eat on you. But you got to say, sorry, that's not for you. You're going to have to go find somewhere else to eat. I'm not a meal. All right, thank you for your time, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye. So this is an example of me walking through my garden and hypervigilantly assessing who has been here and who is eating the plants. Okay, so we've got stuff going on here. Looks like a little bug. And when you're dealing with seedlings and young starts, they're the most tender. The most young little tender ones get the most attack because they're tasty, they're easy to eat. Okay. Some of this definitely looks like bug. Some of the other looks like a bird. See how this looks like a bird was ripping at it? But you can see all these are just getting torn apart. Beat up. I don't like it. Frustrates me. I just caught a gopher this morning got another trap set here. I have to put certain barriers around certain plants. Seems like everybody loves dill. See, so I just cover them up. So sometimes there are multiple levels of protection depending on the plant. Critters love bok choy. Arrgh, frustrates me. I just have to keep going at it. I cannot back off. It's like you're playing offense and defense, and you're just, you know, and it's like, what happened here? Let's see, this is getting cut. My guess, it's a little pill bug. I've been having a lot of problems with that. So you basically just have to come in and assess damage and death every day. And that's what it's like when we are in this life. Who's bringing damage? Who's bringing death? And we have got to get those people out.